今集講生活講享受，同一位中意突破界限嘅名廚傾下偈，欣賞下充滿古典風情嘅首飾設計，睇下今年嘅春夏時裝點樣着先至夠有型有款，仲會借一啲特別嘅藝術作品去參透人生。
I think the most difficult and challenging part as a chef is keep evolving.
嚟自意大利嘅 Zeno 原來15歲就開始入廚。佢話佢人生大部分嘅時間都放咗喺廚房，主力鑽研唔同嘅食譜，希望透過食材去了解自由創作嘅精髓。今日我哋就一於同佢傾下偈，了解下佢煮嘢食嘅秘訣之外，仲會認識下佢對自由創作背後嘅一啲得意故事啊！ So Chef Zeno, what's the major difference between working in Italy and working in Hong Kong?
I can say that most challenging part here is that we need to think how to propose a menu here and most think about the ingredients. Because in Italy we follow the season and we use only a kind of ingredient. Here in Hong Kong we import and we plan our menu to give an offer to our customer, trying to adapt even to the environment.
Would you say that your previous experience of working in different Michelin-starred restaurants sort of influenced your cooking style or your cooking philosophy?
Yeah, of course. Working in a high-level Michelin-star restaurant, they teach you the discipline and to don't follow so much your instinct. So you need to keep the standard and learn the standard and keeping going with the same standard, of course. I have to adapt to don't be too much crazy, I can say.
Now, very interestingly, I heard that you called yourself a barbarian chef in the past. What's the story behind that interesting name?
It's a story that, you know, I always been a young guy without any rules in the kitchen, so I always got kind of argue with my superior, with my chefs, because I used to not follow so much the rules. But slowly I adapt, because, you know, when you have an instinct, when you have an idea, you need to arrive to a result that can make happy you and even your guests. That's why before I was just thinking about myself. That is my play, or you like it, or you don't like it. Now I learn how to be much more disciplined and educate as well.
No, I love the attitude. Now, obviously, not many people relate fine dining to home-style dining, but you have a different opinion on that, don't you?
I think it's only about the idea. Of course, you can go to fine dining and have a great family dinner, of course. About my dishes, I try to bring like a renovation. I try to propose again the dishes that are typical from the family tradition, adding a little bit more of technique to make it light and high-end, high standard.
Zeno 話：過去喺唔同嘅米芝蓮餐廳工作，令佢獲益唔少。當中嘅經驗更加豐富咗佢烹飪上嘅知識同埋技巧，令佢充分了解到烹飪嘅真正意義。
Cheers. Excellent.
All right, chef, let's talk about your menu. So what made you decide to create all these incredible looking dishes in front of us, and what sort of message do you want your diners to take away?
I want that from my dish the people will remember the simplicity of the taste and the combination. So when you go out from here, you will always remember, the ravioli with the sibas, the amazing prawns with the burrata. Very classic, simple, easy to remember.
And this incredible looking dessert, I have to ask you about this dessert. Just like a painting, what's the story behind this one?
We start from a classic dessert, is a millefoglie, and then just say why we cannot play around. So when the customer order goes on the table, just create a painting. Every day, every time is different.
Yeah.
And actually it's very simple taste, simple flavor, It's still a millefeuille, but you see, just play around with the ingredient. It's done.
Pleasing to the eye and pleasing to the palate.
Very simple, taste, easy to remember.
Yep. Now to wrap up, what does cooking mean to you?
Can I say just everything?
Everything.
I start with it when since that I'm 5 years old, and my family was my uncle and my auntie that were cooking. I don't know what to say.
Well, I think that's the perfect answer. So Zeno, thank you very much for speaking to us today.
Thank you
What a
so much
pleasure.
to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
由古至今，飾物喺女士打扮方面咧，都係扮演住非常重要嘅角色。一件靚嘅飾物足以可以 upgrade 成個 look。而我最中意嘅飾物，當然就係閃靈靈嘅珠寶啦。So can you tell us how did you get started to be a jewelry designer? Can you tell us your story?
Oh, I'm always in love in jewelry. I particularly love diamonds, you know. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have a cruising business since 2008. My Hong Kong cruisers know about us very well. We're pretty established indeed. But with the unforeseeable event of pandemic, not only my company, but the entire tourism industry has gone into IC. And then I was thinking, oh, I've always been dreaming of a brand, a jewelry brand. So that's how I started to start my new brand.
Wow, so that's how it all started.
Yes.
And can you tell us why do you love jewelry so much?
Oh, I think it's by nature and nurture. It's just inborn. Like I've been attracted to diamonds, as I said. Like even it's a teeny tiny diamond to like big stones. And at the same time, all the females in my family, they've been loving jewelry as always. Then I also inherit some of them. So I was like, okay, I think I love jewelry.
Can you tell us what is your design inspiration?
Among the wide spectrum of jewelry designs, I'm particularly drawn to the antique and vintage style jewelry. Among the old eras, I love Art Deco in particular because I like how the way is like symmetry, you know, the bold colors, the geometry, the use applied in the jewelry. And given that I have the opportunity to fly out with my job being like a cruise agent, so I can make use of the time to like see more and go to the antique jewelry market in Paris, in Europe, in London. And
wow, that's amazing. So how do you present this concept in your design?
I always believe that jewelry doesn't have to be trendy. It has to be something that you feel good about it, you love it. So I love making my jewelries using mixed golds. And at the same time, I love using different shapes, diamond shapes. It could be marquise or it could be princess cuts. It doesn't have to be the usual round. And at the same time, I also use gemstones like sapphires to enhance. So it's all different kind of mix.
So I'm wearing your ring now. I think it's really girly, versatile, and timeless. And how would you describe your own designs?
I would say they're girly. I think the females now, when they have in the workforce, they will probably want something that is real, genuine. You know, is made of real carat gold and diamonds, and is timeless. And at the same time, they want to make them feel good. When you're wearing a jewelry, you want something that is nice on you. It makes you happy. So I'm hoping to make some jewelry that is meant to be yours, that you feel good about them.
Yes, and I feel good in your ring.
Thank you.
Among all of your designs, which one is your favorite piece?
I love this piece in particular because it applies like everything, all the elements that I love, being rose gold and mixing with the white gold, and at the same time I'm using the cupping setting method. Most important of all is like I've using the rose cuts, which is an old cuts in the antique era. So it's something that unusual. You don't see them all the time in the Hong Kong market.
So unique.
It's pretty unique. Yes. And also apply the mill grain. So it's a very vintage way of making.
If I want a piece that I can wear from day to night, what would you recommend?
If you only have one piece, I would recommend using huggies. Like diamond huggies will help you going from day to night, very easily. Particularly maybe rose gold, because rose gold can blend in under the sun, and at the same time at night it still gives you enough brings.
And do you have new designs for the coming season?
Oh, I think there will be a lot because there are so many ideas in my mind now. I've collected many spinels because it has a wide spectrum of colors and some new stones. So I'm going to draw them and apply them and make it more like interesting.
每個人對珠寶嘅睇法都唔一樣，有啲人會覺得佢係一件藝術品，又或者一件投資嘅工具。對於我嚟講，珠寶可以勾起一啲珍貴嘅回憶，而呢樣嘢就有錢都買唔到。
Joyce 平時見你咧都好開心啦，咁你唔開心嘅時候咧，你會做啲咩嘅？
唔開心嘅時候，我通常都會聽下歌啊，食甜品。不過我覺得最 work 咧就係同一班姊妹一齊出街。你知道出街之前，我哋又會扮下靚啊，襯下衫啊，傾下偈，即刻心情都靚啲啊！
完全同意，我覺得個人打扮下咧都會開心啲啦。咁同埋咧，今年有好多未知嘅因素，我相信大家嘅目標咧都希望喺生活上面咧可以重返正軌，出去行下，呼吸下新鮮空氣，最重要咩啊？可以重返大自然啊！
我自己咧最中意就係牛仔 look，因為我覺得無論係牛仔褲啦、牛仔褸或者牛仔裙咧，襯起上嚟咧都比較有型。而且如果你想 casual 啲咧，就可以加對波鞋；你想 formal 少少出去食飯咧，又可以加對高踭鞋喎，即係夠晒百搭㗎。
講到春夏時裝，着得有型又舒服，可以話係大前提。用牛仔布做嘅服飾，梗係依然係呢個季節必備嘅衣着啦。好似呢件牛仔褸咁啊，齋係唔對稱嘅設計已經夠晒獨特，着起嚟仲可以做出疊膊嘅效果，夠晒引人注目嘅。
平時大家節目咧，通常都會見到我着西裝啦，但係其實我都好中意打扮下嘅，例如係襯下唔同嘅 layer 或者係 style， 因為我覺得 fashion 講求咧就係突破。
春夏季總係俾人一種充滿活力同埋快樂嘅感覺，所以我哋嘅服裝都自然要時尚得嚟，又有啲突破。至於點樣先為之突破呢？留意下呢個造型啊！幾何圖案嘅印花恤衫，襯一件有格仔同橫間花紋嘅灰色外套，下身再着條 cargo 褲。中意型格街頭風嘅男士們，唔知咁樣又夠唔夠突破呢？
Joyce 問得呢一條問題，顏色定設計？
顏色。
點解咧？
因為顏色可以突顯到設計。
答得咁好嘅點解？
到我問你，恤衫定係褸？
好難答呢條。
快啲啦！
恤衫啊！
有人話黃色係今年最興嘅顏色，亦有人話粉紅色先係今季嘅主流，真係各有講法啊！不過既然春夏季總係令人聯想起鮮豔嘅顏色，咁不如將佢哋 combine 埋一齊，一件簡單得嚟又優雅嘅西裝褸，配一條 sharp 繩嘅黃色直腳西褲，成個人即刻年輕晒啊！恤衫相信係每位男士衣櫃裏面必備嘅服裝。想着出斯文有品味嘅感覺，唔一定要長袖衫㗎，短袖恤衫都一樣可以做到呢個效果。着恤衫嘅時候，不妨喺搭配上花多啲心思啊！喺短袖恤衫裏面加件長袖 T 恤，增加層次感。又或者可以再型啲，着件有領嘅外套，配埋條 cargo 褲，輕輕鬆鬆就可以做出令人忍唔住望多兩眼嘅造型啊！每年春夏季嘅設計風格都主張以簡單同細緻為主，好似呢條裙咁啊，就可以做到呢個設計概念啦。白色嘅裙一向俾人簡單樸素嘅感覺，但係如果想樸素得嚟又帶點新意嘅話咧，波浪形設計嘅白色裙就應該做到想要嘅效果。再襯埋泡泡袖嘅上衫，簡單得嚟又夠晒搶眼啊！
點啊，女王，擺完 pose未？
未啊？
但到我咯，我仲有一套要影喎。
我未影完啊！
仲未影完？你霸咗個位之前，你仲霸埋我啲 cool 喎。而家我霸翻你個位先啦。
唔得啊！再見。
雖然蕭靜之係一位自學嘅藝術家，但係佢擁有獨特嘅藝術觸覺。醉心佛學嘅佢，除咗希望透過藝術去改變大家對佛教嘅固有睇法，亦都想話俾大家知，世界上所有框框都可以打破嘅。好似喺創作媒介上面，佢就大膽咁衝破平面創作嘅界限，以與別不同嘅方式，令到作品變得更加立體。
So Jessie, I heard that you didn't major in art, yet you created all these incredible artworks. How did that happen?
I first started to paint because I was inspired by Andy Warhol. I was so motivated and feel so empowered and inspired until I visited another exhibition, which is Wu Guanzhong exhibitions at National Singapore Gallery. And there and then, I made a wish. I'm going to create my own original art, and I'm going to have my own exhibition one day.
So what's the hardest part of being an artist, and how did you overcome all the challenges?
As I'm a self-taught artist, I'm what they call an outsider artist, meaning I have no contact with the mainstream art world. And thanks to the social media and online platforms, independent artists like myself can survive without a representations of a gallery. And also thanks to ArtSpace, local talents have more chance to showcase their work.
Now, many artists, they have their own philosophy. Do you have one?
I have 3 principles that I adhere to. The first one is appearance, and being pretty can attract and engage the viewer to dig deeper, to understand the philosophy behind. Second principle is the philosophy and ideas should bring us closer to the truth and the reality. This time is through the perspective of Buddhism. And lastly, I always try to transcend the limits of painting as a medium. I always try to find new ways to take the 2-dimensional into 3-dimensional. And I also want my paintings to move, not physically moving, but in your mind. When you see it, you feel like it's moving.
And what made you decide to start this exhibition?
This exhibition is my response to the trauma, the turmoil, and the sufferings that COVID-19 brought us. So there are so many sufferings. What do we do with them? As an artist, making art is my way of transforming sufferings into joy, peace, and liberation. There's a saying, what an artist does. We take our broken hearts and turn it into art. So besides curing my own heart, I also want my works to cure other people's hearts. All my artworks are very vibrant and energetic and dynamic. I hope the audience find the renewed energy and have courage to embrace the sufferings and also be able to find joy in such a difficult times.
It's so great to know there's such a positive message behind this exhibition. But why choose bubbles as the theme?
The bubble theme is actually inspired by the Buddhism philosophy of joy. And contrary to most people's misconceptions about Buddhism, Buddhism is not pessimistic. It's not about escaping from life. It's not just sitting there and praying and doing nothing. It's nothing like that. It's actually very positive. It's about taking actions to turn sufferings into joy, peace, and liberations. We suffer because we are living in a bubble. We see the world with warped perceptions. And so this exhibition is my way to burst the bubble. So after the bubble is burst, you can see the reality and begin to find true happiness.
Some of your artworks are very 3-dimensional. How were they created?
It's special techniques that I developed, and it's inspired by cake decorations and dessert making. First, I need something to hold the shape, so I add paper clay into the paste. After some blending, I need to spreading the paste on non-sticky surface, and then create a shape with a palette knife. And after those fragments are dried, I can assemble them together.
So Jessie, if you have to use 3 words to describe your work, what would they be?
Unusual, because they are often developed by experiments and trial and error. And secondly, philosophical, because it's my way to express philosophical ideas. I'm not very good with words. Painting is my medium. And lastly, I think impermanence, because my styles are always changing.
And last but not least, is there a must-see artwork that we shouldn't miss in this exhibition?
It's the inkless ink waves. It's very special to me because it's my beginning. It's the continuation of my first exhibition. There's a lighting effect. It portrays the Taoism concepts of yin and yang. It's called inkless ink because no ink was used. The light was used to bring out the darkness hidden. We always say seeing is believing, but with our naked eye, we can only see the white. But when condition changes, the darkness is revealed. Morally speaking, is a person inherently good or bad? What is good and what is wrong? What is bad and what is right? That's the question.
或者大家會覺得佛學係一種好玄妙或者係好深奧嘅學問，但係其實諗深一層嘅話咧，其實佛學都可以係一種生活態度，鼓勵我哋有一顆積極向上嘅心。今日透過 Jessie 嘅作品咧，亦都令到我有更深嘅體會。今集嘅節目又差唔多啦，想知道多啲啱啱介紹過嘅內容，好簡單，上去我哋嘅網頁睇下就得㗎啦。只要揾啱路向，每一日嘅生活都可以創造出無窮無盡嘅驚喜。嚟緊繼續黐住我哋，盡情去講生活、講享受啦！試下嚟自世界各地嘅精緻美食，學下點樣令每一日都健康啲、開心啲，仲會緊貼各種潮流資訊，同唔同嘅名人傾下偈，分享下佢哋嘅成功之道。想享受人生，就千祈唔好錯過下集嘅節目啦！